latest headline from the world of sports, the African scene, and of course the European scene, where tonight we'll be seeing game in the UEFA Champions League. And so in about an hour from now, the first game will be going down, and that game will be in Kazakhstan, the border between that country and China. So for 4:30, which will be around 8:30 thereabouts in that part, about 4-5 hours ahead of us. So that game will be starting in the next 1 hour. African Cup of Nations, so much to talk about on the show this afternoon. We're counting down with national teams, giving us names of players. And earlier today, okay, SAMIES joins me on the show. We'll be talking about the Super Eagles list that I saw. I'd like SAMIES to react to that, or me. I'll be the one to react to that. In terms of money, and when we begin to get news around the Super Eagles head coach, 𝐒𝐿 not being paid 3-month salary. Going into the African Cup of Nations, another one is bringing up again. It was just a few weeks ago, we're talking about the World Cup qualifier, where the player said, if you don't play us, we'll not go into those 2 games. And we saw what happened after. Now, the head coach hasn't been paid for 3 months. Now, these are times, difficult times you want to say. And I've been checking the figures, the numbers that we pay 𝐒𝐿 on a monthly basis. Some of this money is, if you convert them, run into more, plenty millions. And you say, can we continue paying these coaches? Can't we just come out and tell ourselves the hard truth, look inward, and see if we can get one? Who are those names on your lips? We'll wait to see. We'll discuss that on the show. And then we'll jump away from the continent and talk about the European continent, where they've got UEFA Champions League game happening later tonight. SAMIES, it's a pleasure having you joining me on the show. I'm just trying to get to my device now and dig that news I saw earlier today about the news around the list of the Super Eagles players. I'll get to that in a minute, but still talking about African Cup of Nations, Wilfred Zaha has been recalled to the 𝐼𝐕𝐄 squad after he apologized to the head coach and the playing staff and the players and the coaches. He has now been returned. Emerson Faye said, you know what, your apology is accepted, and you will be part of the party to the African Cup of Nations, which they are going to defend in Morocco in a few days from now. So I spoke about something concerning the Super Eagles SAMIES. Do you have that? If you don't, I do. And I'll be sharing with you all you need to know in terms of the names that I've seen in the last few hours. Those that might likely go to the Nations Cup. And guess what, SAMIES? There are a few players here that are missing. SAMIES, it's a pleasure having you on the show. Before we talk about the names, how do you do?
Good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon to everyone who has joined us on today's edition of the show. So we know 12 days to the African Cup of Nations is all about the countdown. And for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, I know there is one friendly game in which we'll be playing. That's against Egypt, the Pharaohs of Egypt. Yeah. And that is one key preparation for the Super Eagles of Nigeria to get one step better than we achieved at the last edition of the African Cup of Nations. So many things to discuss. The list of the Super Eagles are tentative, but not the list. And not from a.
Are you talking about the provisional list or the 27-man list?
Well, you said you've seen maybe somewhat of a confirmed 27-man short, 28-man short
27, I counted.
Well, I'm still trying to look around to get my hands on that because from the 50-plus thereabout names we had last week, I was about saying that for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, indeed, the official handles should have put out the names of players who definitely would be at the African Cup of Nations at this hour. Lots of stories as regards to the Super Eagles as well. Maybe Stanley Wabali would be fit for the African Cup of Nations. And then you say that. A lot of people have been saying, will that Maduka Okoye get his chance? Maso Basioge, Adebayo Adeleye.
Interesting, in that list I'm trying to dig and find again. There is a place for Stanley Wabali in that one. And so... but Simon, let's start with what I mentioned earlier, and that's got to do with, so I have the list right in front of me, but I'll share that with you in a bit. Simon, talk to me about this one that, even though the NFF has not come out to deny it or say it is false or it is true, it's about 3 months, 𝐒𝐿 going to the Nations Cup. It is what it is, but it's not good.
Definitely. It is not... the best story you want to hear from the Nigeria Football Federation, but it has happened.
It's not new.
It is not new. It has happened.
That's why I said
it keeps happening. But you should say that, do we now like dragging ourselves, washing our dirty linen outside.
Have we
Because
this is the first time you're watching
no,
it?
it is not the first time, but there are times where there are moments when things should actually be put to a stop.
This death you're talking about, SAMIES. You saw that with what's his name now, 𝐿. You saw it with the man with Benin Republic now.
𝐶𝐈𝐒.
So what is the big deal about it?
See, we are we are supposed to we are
you are
supposed
looking
to
for words to even, that's
that's
it's
Nigerian,
because you are used to it.
used to it, and there's just a time when you know when to stop
What?
all these diabolical moves
Yeah,
in which it is not
There's
good. It is not good. I am so pained to be talking about.
I am
this.
not pained.
See, you might not be pained because because
SAMIES,
oh,
these
God.
guys know that getting the Super Eagles job, there comes a time that there will be hole. They knew that the time will come that, you know what, we'll not be able to pay you for 2-3 months. There's no biggie about it, SAMIES.
2-3 months. Get it? Not super. What's his name
because
now? 𝐿𝐒 got the job earlier this year.
You can't tell me people didn't tell him that this
Earlier
NFL
this year.
is holding
You know,
is holding 𝐿𝐒.
Then we said how many years contract are they giving him? 3 years. And in the 3 years, they said he's going to be in charge of all Nigerian football. That's the 𝐾 Eagles, as well as that's the senior team, the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Yeah.
And also at that point, we knew our World Cup qualification was hanging on a thin line. Are we going to qualify or not? He did his best. We can say in all the qualifying series, it was the best we had out of the managers that took us through all the 10 games in the group stages of the World Cup qualifiers. So we didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
The 𝐾 Eagles, we didn't perform well.
That was even bad.
It was bad.
Is that why you're owing him?
Is that a reason to owe him?
That's why I'm asking you.
No. No, we can look at all of these
Is that why
things.
we're owing
Maybe
him?
they are not just coming out to say that, oh, these are the things, the contracts, these are the requirements on the contracts we signed with 𝐶𝐈𝐒.
SAMIES, we need to move on. Why do I feel like calling you Anthony? But let's move on the show this afternoon. And SAMIES, I bring to you, if you don't have that.
I have it with me already.
Okay, you have it now with you. Goalkeeper, standing one by the Keeper United, South Africa, Amos Obasioge, Cinder Black Stars, Tanzania, Madigo Okoye, Udinese, FC Italy, defenders, Calvin Bassey, Fulham, Oluwashemilogo Ajayi, Hull City, England, Brighton, Osai Samuel, Osai Samuel, Birmingham, Bruno Yemechi, Olympiacos, Chidozia Wazem, Nons in France, Zedu Sanusi, FC Porto, Portugal, Igo, Ogbu, Slava Praga, Czechia, Ryan Alebioshu, Blackburn Rovers, England, flip to the other side. Midfielders, Alex Iwobi, Fulham, Franco Onyeka, Brentford, Alexander Yusuf, New England Revolution in the United States, Wilfred Ndidi, Besiktas, Turkey, Rafael Onyeka, Club Brugge, Belgium, Fisayo Dele Bashir, SS Lazio. Saw him over the weekend in the game against, what was that? Against Bologna, Italy. Ebenezer Akinsa Miro, Pisa, FC in Italy, SC in Italy. Forwards, Ademola Lookman, Atalanta, Samuel Chukwueze, Fulham, Victor Osimhen, Gala in Turkey, Simon Moses, Paris FC in France, 𝐒𝐿𝐒, Sevilla in Spain, Akko Adams also coming in from Seville, Terem Murphy, OGC Nice, Rafiu, Durosimi, Victoria Plazon, Czechia, and Cyril Desas, Panathinaikos Greece. So there's 2 names here missing. SAMIES, the man who plays football for Wolves, you know his name, and the one who's on loan from Bayer Leverkusen to Werder Bremen, you also know his name. So let me state the name for those who might be saying, why not tell me the name? The names, one is and the other one,
Victor Boniface.
So SAMIES, this is not official.
Yeah.
But you know, I can sit down and say, on the scale of 10, this is now over 10, that this might be the players going to AFCON, SAMIES. So you have a few thoughts, yeah?
Well, few thoughts.
Or you think this is good to go? SAMIES, you have to say something.
You know, the mistake at first, if we are going to be contemplating on this, is why release a 50+ man shortlist initially?
It's for us to talk about it. They want to give us something to bite.
Why?
That's
is that necessary?
That's who we are.
It is not necessary.
That's who we are.
Now you give this list, and all of these players might have put in a performance, or they've been putting in that performance since the start of the season.
Yeah.
Only for them to actually get dropped. Why not just go straight to the chase and drop your 28-man shortlist?
Okay.
This is Nigeria, and I think we are regressing in our sporting activities.
Wow. That's a strong soundbite there. Okay, so I'm just trying to see if I can get more in terms of updates as they come in. They're coming in very thick and fast in terms of the build up to the African Cup of Nations. I thought I saw earlier Ghana's team for African Cup of Nations SAMIES, but
Ghana?
yeah, yes, Ghana have announced a 23-man squad for the 20 African Cup of Nations. That was about 27 minutes ago.
Ghana.
Yes, the
AFCON.
Black Stars. They're joking. I'm also joking. It's good. You get me there. I wanted to find out something, but SAMIES got me there. That was good. I wanted to find out if I'm going to react to it. I wanted somebody out there to laugh, so I got you there. Ghana are not going to the Nations Cup. They said they want to send spectators to go and watch.
But you know, they are going to the biggest. They are going to the biggest.
No.
That's the
when
World Cup.
When we get to June, I will tell you the Super Eagles squad list to the World Cup. And then you might ask yourself, what is this guy saying? Is he joking? Okay, it's good that SAMIES got me. I keep saying Ghana. I was saying Ghana. I was like, maybe I'm going to Ghana is going nowhere. They have to stay home and watch. SAMIES, what else do you have with you?
It's just as regards the reaction from what happened over the course of the weekend there between.
SAMIES, just to confirm, sorry, earlier I was talking about Wilfred Zaha. I just got that now in terms of what CAF is releasing per minute, and so Wilfred Zaha will be on his way to this year's African Cup of Nations.
Well, also with this update from the African scene, like we mentioned, Mozambique's Dominguez is set to become the second oldest player at the African Cup of Nations. So 42 years old, the winger is in that Mozambique squad for the African Cup of Nations there in Morocco. Yesterday, I think it was Uganda who are in the same group with Nigeria, who got to the venue of the World.
The Nations Cup.
First.
If somebody else, if I said World Cup, I would have said World Cup. So another moment to laugh again.
Nations Cup.
Yeah, but SAMIES, I got another update here just as we're speaking. I mean, a source in the NFF said yes, they're owing the Super Eagles head coach, but they're owing him 2 months.
What's the difference? 2-3 months. What's the difference?
Yeah,
you are
him
owing.
2 months.
You are owing, whereby you shouldn't
but it's
owe.
not 3 months.
He's doing his job.
Like telling
So,
Kenny said, I'm owing him 3 months. No,
imagine all of those who are putting this culture or making these decisions. What if someone is owing them?
Wait, you know this is how these things work. When Kenny says, you're owing me 3 months, I say, no, mommy, I'm owing you 2 months. Maybe you, SAMIES, can my help and say, okay, let me come in and let me pay the 2 months. You don't get it.
Federal government. But still from the African scene, for the Bafana of South Africa, they are set to face off against Ghana in their final match in South Africa before the AFCON 2025 also begins. So talk about these tune-up games in which all of these countries they are having. And of course, I think it's just so great that we have a good 9 venues for this year's African Cup of Nations, which will run through January 2026. And I just see that it's just a good preparation also for Morocco. So many things. They are just testing so many things ahead of that 2030 Men's World Cup that is set to be hosted between themselves, that's Portugal and Spain. Next year, they will still host the Women's African Cup of Nations. And say that for 3 years in a row, they are hosting the Women's African Cup of Nations. And in the midst of that, they've hosted, in the last 5 years, you look at the biggest events in Morocco they've hosted. FIFA Club World Cup. Yeah. They've hosted.
So what they're doing is bailing out.
Yes. They're bailing out. In fact, CAF Awards.
They're bailing out. They're bailing CAF out in so many. And it's just, when you just look and you just say to yourself.
But there are so many records that will actually be broken at this year's African Cup of Nations. So maybe in subsequent programs, we'll come and look at that. And also just to build up to the nations. So we'll definitely be playing at this year's African Cup of Nations, which consists of 4 teams in each group.
Yeah, like SAMIES mentioned earlier, we also have the friendly game coming up against Egypt this time next week, but it will be 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. In terms of the Egyptian time. So that will be more like the last friendly game, except the Eagles have got some closed door. And when you have the players coming in, SAMIES, these coming few days, and I don't know how they want to get because
their games set to go down this weekend. I checked my calendar. CAF, FIFA, the time 15th,
which
which is
next
Monday.
Yeah,
but their games set to go down this weekend, started from
That
the
is
12th.
the national team who don't have players in core European leagues. They can leave. I've been taking a look at Tanzania, who released their list earlier today, because don't forget they're in the same group with the Super Eagles. And I've been taking a look at the players coming from Simba and some parts of Africa. They don't have business. They don't have business with the January thing. They get into Morocco on time. They want to prepare for those games. And talking about the game between Egypt and Nigeria, it will not be the number 5 substitute. They will have more than that, because the game is now away from the FIFA window. Yes. So they have more players to come in and change things because of the timing of the game. Because Egypt, Morocco close, they can move on time to Morocco. So I mean, let's switch because of the few times we have left on the show. I see you put on the slide 𝐿 Yesterday was a moment for me to listen for a little over 20 minutes to about past 8 live press conference of him talking about Mo Salah, him and Alisson Becker discussing Mo Salah's future and all of that. And there were many questions for him. And to some extent, I think INT'L was smart in those questions, the way he was responding to them. Some was very diplomatic about it. You can't be asking a manager questions around if he has played his last game, if his last game against Brighton and all of that. But guess what again? The people that Mo Salah mentioned that they will react to those statements did react. One of them is Jamie Carragher. And I saw his reaction, read his reaction. Again, there's a way people twist issues when you see them comment, you see them react to some of these things. But SAMIES, maybe we should take a listen to INT'L. He's got a lot to say about Mo Salah. And of course, ahead of the game tonight against Inter.
Chivo also reacted to that.
Interesting. That's the head coach.
Head coach of
Inter Milan. So,
but let's take a listen to the words of INT'L first. Speaking about.
I don't think anybody today too. I was listening, just trying to monitor the press conference of Real Madrid against Manchester City game on Wednesday.
He was
and they were also asked about Mo Salah.
No, he was asked about taking the Liverpool job and Mo Salah. Because now his job also is on the edge. On the edge.
Yeah, if he doesn't get to win on Wednesday against Manchester City, it might be sacked Thursday morning. But SAMIES,
let's take a listen to the words of INT'L.
My reaction to that is also clear. He's not here with us tonight. We've let him know that he's not traveling with us. So that was the only communication that's been there from us to him. Of course, before Saturday, the two of us have spoken a lot. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. That's not the way I feel, but he has the right to feel how he feels things. I haven't felt that at all till Saturday evening for sure, when I didn't play him anymore. Usually players don't like the manager then that much, but he was very respectful to my staff members, to his teammates, and he trained really hard. So to an extent it was a surprise for me that when I heard after the game that he gave the comments he gave. But as I said, it's not the first and not the last time that when a player doesn't play he says something something similar to what he did. But I think my reaction to that is also clear, and that's that he's not here with us tonight. My reaction to that is also clear. He's not here with us tonight. We've let him know that he's not traveling with us. So that was the only communication that's been there from us to him. Of course, before Saturday, the two of us have spoken a lot. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. That's not the way I...
Okay. There's so much happening behind the mic here.
Yes, of course. So much. But we would also take a listen to the words of Chivo, the Inter Milan boss, giving his thoughts on the absence of Mohamed Salah, whom it looks like he's not going to be playing against Inter Milan.
No, it's not. It's in Liverpool. So you saw this on Instagram in the gym. So he's not going to play.
Let's take a listen to the words of Chivo.
They have a team. They don't have only one player. We all know what Mo Salah represents for the world football. And we all know his value. We all know what he gave to football in these years. It's not my concerns. The only thing I know is that they have players they can sub Mo Salah, and they keep the level as high as this team or this club has done for the last, I don't know, for the whole history of this club. With ups and downs is normal. They have a team. They don't have only one player. They have a team. They don't have only one player. We all know what.
Okay, so Chivo, I think it's good that managers are all talking about. It goes to show you are big. If you are not big, nobody will talk about you.
Just like we've been discussing behind the scene, I think this is what Mohamed Salah also wants. Like,
How?
I want to be the talk of the town. Let people talk. And if that would actually force your hands
The reason
to
why
call me
the reason
one-on-one. See, I remember
why he doesn't talk every time, but a few times he did.
I
he's
think we
always
mentioned
talking-
last
he's
season.
always saying
See,
something
I
that will get everybody talking.
also want to say this. We look at, because seasons ago when Jose Mourinho was with Tottenham, the All or Nothing documentary that was released during that season, when he called Dele Alli into his dressing room, into his office, and Daniel Rose. He told them the left back.
Yes.
He told them they were not performing so well. In fact, he likened them with so many dirty words. And the players, they held that against Jose Mourinho, and I think from that moment it was their downfall with the team. But like you mentioned, just behind the mic, is this what Mohamed Salah wants? And Slot call me into the dressing, into your office, or the hierarchy also speak to me about the decision behind all of these things. Because you also look at these things, Liverpool, they've signed forwards, and you look at them, they are going to be without Mohamed Salah for close to 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
As it stands,
Should they?
it's 5 weeks.
Okay, 5 weeks.
Because he's not going to play for them again this year. If Egypt get to the final of the Nations Cup, he will not play again for Liverpool. And when they are done with the Nations Cup and they get to win Nations Cup, and we don't win, God forbid, he will have another few days to rest. So, SAMIES, let me just make a few points known. I'm not here to be someone who likes what Mo Salah did. All I'm saying is that he is just too big to be ignored. He is too big to be ignored. Xabi Alonso can't try this with Vinicius Jr. You get? You have to explain to your star player. He can't do this to Kylian Mbappe. He has to explain to his star player why you have to sit on the bench. I know some people will say out there that he's the manager. He doesn't need to explain to him, hey man, see, don't bring this player power into the picture. Because we have instances.
I think player power would actually prevail.
It will prevail.
Yeah.
It will prevail. So there's a way you explain, and if it's not careful, if it is not handled well, it will affect Liverpool more in the league. And I'm hoping tonight they can come out gun blazing against Inter Milan. If they don't, then you begin to see that effect happening to the squad. And Sembeka yesterday also bear his thought. He said
he's going to talk to him.
Talk to him, doesn't like the approach, blah, blah, blah. I understand it. But like I said to you guys yesterday,
that's more like Mohamed Salah. All of these statements putting the blame on every other person except himself.
So how do you want to blame him?
He's putting the blame for the coach or the team.
The coach
putting not getting the results, or the coach benching him.
Yoruba will say one thing. They will say "Tobafu very loco." So if you give a madman a hole, what do you want him to? What did you say? Call this thing. Tobafu very loco or do are lo ma ro kusi. So you expect Mo Salah now?
I think the normal man also.
Even the madman will. So we know you're normal. Even if you give a madman, where will he do it?
He can go sideways.
He cannot go sideways. He cannot go. So when you give Mo Salah that to do, you expect him to put the blame to say, hey, put the fault on me. I am the fault. I am the problem in this team.
Let's flip it. Let's flip it.
Okay.
Mohamed Salah comes out and say, we are not getting the desired results. And he says at that press, that's a mixed zone that, I am not at my best. And I think the team, they are struggling because I'm not at my best.
So that is also saying. So wait. You people are going to spin it.
We all know. We all know. Liverpool.
Let me spend the next 2 minutes that I have, or that we have, to also speak. So it will come out and say, I am not playing well. Abi,
I'm not at my best.
At my best. That's what it said. I'm not at my best. And so what? Wait. So
we
what?
are not.
That wait.
We are.
So is it about you?
At that point,
to say
he is taking full responsibility in this statement. He didn't take any responsibility.
How can he take responsibility
for a man who started most of their games this season because he was benched just 3 games?
Okay. You know what? those 3 games he did not play. What was the outcome?
2 draws, 1 defeat. 2 draws, 1 defeat.
So
and they won 1 against
SAMIES. The 3 games we're talking about here in context there. What happened to those
2
games?
draws, 1 defeat.
That's how many points?
2 points.
Over what?
9.
Show pass or fail. If you are good to go. I
But
think
in all of these things, it's just, I hope we get that to a common ground on this Mohamed Salah and slots and all of these things. And we know UEFA Champions League games are set to go down later today. And the biggest for tonight happens to be INT'L at the San Siro against Liverpool. Monaco against Galatasaray. Hopefully Paul Pogba starts this game. Victor Osimhen. Let's see if he's going to get in action as well. For Bayern Munich against the Sporting CP, Arsenal ended their unbeaten run to the season in their last outing. Atlanta also be up against Chelsea. No Cole Palmer, Ademola Lookman. Can they actually get in the groove just before the African Cup of Nations? And then PSV against Atletico de Madrid. But one news also coming from the camp of Real Madrid is that for Xabi Alonso, he said the team, they are together from the dressing room to the boardroom as they also bid to halt a poor run of form. That's according to Xabi Alonso. Club Brugge, they'll be playing against Arsenal later tomorrow day in Belgium. But Rafael Onyedika would have a new manager as they've let go of their head coach before the game against Arsenal.
Yep. Okay.
But this is how far we can go on today's edition of the show. Thank you so much. I've done this alongside Peter. Do enjoy the rest of the day and bye for now.